I know it's your lunchtime, so I hope whatever you're eating is real good. So we spending our lunch day break with you. But look, we got a good show for you today. So hopefully while you listening in and tuning in, you can also call in at 504-582-9422. Today my guest is none other than my frat brother and friend, Brother Rod Tate, the founder and owner of Taxes by Tate. Brother Tate, how you doing?
I'm doing good today, Brother Kulan.
Hey, sir, I got a couple of questions for you. Who is Rod Tate?
I am a business owner, a father, a mentor, a cancer survivor, and somebody who wants to see New Orleans East thrive on all levels.
So, what exactly is Taxes by Tate? How long have you been opening in business? And what services do you provide?
Okay, Taxes by Tate started in 2010. I was already a tax practitioner, but I was in Alabama. I came here in 2008. My first location was at the Daughters of Charity business building off of Reed. That was 2012. And then I moved to the Crowder location in 2014. And I've been at the current location, which is 10555 Lake Forest Boulevard, Suite 7E, New Orleans, Louisiana, 70127, since 2022.
Okay.
And we do individual returns. We do 1099s if you have contractors who need to have those done. I've done ERC credits for my clients, and I do business returns, which would be your 1065s or your 1120s. So.
All right. So, and I'm quite sure Radio Land and all of the listening audience that's out here tune into Black to Business, especially my Black business owners, my small business owners. So, Brother Tate, tell the listening audience and the Black business owners or small business owners what you can do for them and how you can help them out.
I can help streamline their workflow by showing them who's getting what, by creating those 1099s that may be pulled from your digital transactions like Venmo, Cash App. A lot of times we think that that it's just going to show that everybody was a family member and that there's no tax liability. But there is restrictions coming down the pipeline that digital transfers are going to be captured on your 1099K. So that means your Venmo, your Cash App, your Apple Pay, all those things are recorded, and the IRS even sees those. Even when you make Robinhood purchases for your small capital gains income that you're trying to create for yourself, all that still leaves a digital footprint and a paper trail that goes back to the IRS. And as opposed to you having to deal with that on your own, I can sit down with you and come together with a plan that's best designed for you or your business to help decrease your tax liability legally. I can't make magic, and I can't make money disappear. But if you have real assets, things that we can depreciate, then there's something I can do about that.
All right. Sounds good. So how has the new rules and the new regulations by our new president with all of the DBIs and all that kind of stuff, how has that affected your clients and affected your business?
When President Trump changed the first rules on his first term, that placed a cap on your SALT taxes, which is your state and local taxes. In Louisiana, you also pay a payroll tax. So at one time, you could bring down your tax liability by documenting the payroll taxes or your property taxes or the taxes that you may have paid on purchases by whatever was spent. After he changed the rules, it was capped at $10,000. So if somebody makes $100,000 and they paid $17,000 or $15,000 in federal withholdings, you would bring down your AGI to $85,000. That's no longer the case. It just gets stopped at $10,000 and no further than that. So that did reduce the income tax refunds is for the middle class, the people who are actually working and are paying these large payroll taxes.
Okay. So, Brother Tate, I heard you say the East a lot. Why did you choose New Orleans East as a location for your business?
Right, New Orleans East has a population of around 66,000. That may be 20,000 less than Lake Charles. That's almost 3 times the population in Chalmette. We have a high property tax base, even though we may have some renters, but we still have more homeowners than probably other areas of the city. And that allows me to have a population that I can serve. We may have about 10 tax practitioners, and out of the 66,000 people who live in New Orleans East, maybe there are 34,000 who are doing taxes. That still leaves each office potentially 3,000 to 2,500 people income tax returns to do. And I assure you, most of us aren't doing over 1,000 per firm. So
Okay.
it's plenty of work out there.
So, how has there been any challenges working in a business in this area, and how did you overcome those?
The biggest thing was I have to always say this: ignorance is the key to exploitation. So a lot of times you have uh, misingenuous tax practitioners who are putting signs out that may say you're going to get 5,000 to 10,000 a child.
Right.
Uh, uh, no W-2 needed. That's you have to be leery about anytime somebody overpromises and overcharges you, because they that's unsustainable. You can't stay in business like that. And no, the IRS is not guaranteeing that you're going to get $5,000 or 10,000 for one child.
Wow.
Each person's income tax return is based on the federal withholdings, how old is the child, because once the child gets past 16, you no longer get the child tax credit anyway.
Okay.
So then it's just based on earned income credit. And if you earn,
Great.
if your wages are already over 40 or 50,000, there's no earned income credit to get.
That's
So
okay.
yeah, so that's not reality. Everybody isn't looking like that. It would be nice, but that's not reality.
So, and what you're speaking of now, those are some of the things that we all need to hear. Those are some of the things we all need to be coached on and educated on. So, at any given time, when we put together or ask you to put together a class such as this for the members of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce, would you be ready, willing, and able to do that?
Yes, sir, absolutely. I want to see my community thrive.
All right. And on that note, what do you hope that taxes by Tate bring to the community?
I would hope that I would be a good change agent, that I would be able to hold hands with other business partners, and that we're able to see more chain and anchor stores or brick and mortar stores return to the East. Because right now it's really being held down by small business owners like Kojo's or Kaleidoscope or what's that, Patio 17. We really, the only large anchor store we have is really Walmart and Winn Dixie.
Mm. All right. So, beyond being the founder and owner of Taxes by Tate, how are you involved in the local community?
Well, just like yourself, I'm a member of Omega Psi Phi. We do community cleanup every once in a while with New Orleans Brothers of New Orleans East. We clean the stretch of I-10 from Walmart to on Bullet to Reed, and also I try to engage my city council person to try to clean up Diamond Road as much as possible, and also getting Leaky and Beachy back. So I have been engaging with my other neighbors and to do those things.
So, what initiatives or events do Taxes by Tate support or host?
I have been participating with Right and Gray when they have their school give back. So I would participate with them and try to partnership with other members who are working to enable families to have the resources they need to have a good start to the school year.
How do you see your business contributing to the growth and revitalization of the city of New Orleans, in particular, New Orleans East and the surrounding areas?
I view my other cohorts or other business partners or either other tax practitioners, they're not a enemy to me. They're not somebody I need to fear or worry about whether or not their business is doing better than mine. I want everybody to thrive. So if there's some information that I have no problem sharing it with them, and hope vice versa. Because if I'm doing well, then hopefully everybody can do well.
So you want everybody.
Everybody, it's enough people out there. Everybody can eat. Like I said, 66,000 people that stay in New Orleans East.
Wow.
It's more than enough for everybody to be able to do well.
So, what message or messages do you want to send to aspiring entrepreneurs in the community such as yourself?
There's no power like black ownership. A lot of times we get caught up to build something and sell, but without the ownership, you really can't steer the boat. Look at the BET Awards. They already said that's been canceled.
Wow.
And even though it says BET, but since Mr. Johnson sold it, we don't really have a stakeholder who sees the direct impact of how the image of BET may put out affects our children and affects our potential to exceed our imagination because we're limited by what we see.
Right.
But if we actually own it, then we feel like it's limitless because I can continue on or I can go past these boundaries. So I just wish people would understand that it's power and ownership, and that you don't have to sell yourself that short. It may be a short game now, but if we actually own it, we control the direction where we want it to go.
Right, and control all the narratives behind it, and that's what most people don't realize. Most people don't realize that they are their own brand. You are your own brand. You as a person, Rod Tate, you're your own brand, and your branding that you do for you is everything.
Mhm.
And once you lose the good grace and the good favor of your name and your brand, guess what? It's hard to get it back. And some people don't
Absolutely.
ever get it back. So that's why I always try to tell people that, hey, your name carries a lot of weight
Hmm.
as you are. Because when you walk in certain rooms, certain times your name have already entered the room before you even get there.
Absolutely.
So then you just gotta be who you are and continue to be who you are. Always be honest, always be transparent, and always be you. Your brand is you, and you always got to be you. So, what are some of the biggest challenges that you have faced in the role at Taxes by Tate?
When the rules changed in reference to unreimbursed employee expenses, the things that you could once write off, you no longer can, unless you have a small business, and then if you do, you still have to be able to show a profit and loss. It just can't be all losses. Even though because everything has to be profit driven. They're not going to believe that you're engaged in some type of business where you have a loss 3 or 4 years in a row because that's unsustainable. Then you don't want that to reflect negatively because you have to look at your income tax return as a picture of your true solvency or your financial growth or loss.
Mm.
So you don't want to just for the sake of hey, I got a big income tax return because you have to look beyond the refund because at some point in time you may want to buy a house, you
Right.
may want to get finance, or you don't want a negative income tax return to affect your ability to get a Parent Plus loan for your children when it's time to do FAFSA. There's so many things just getting beyond just getting the income tax return.
Got it. So, how do you navigate the ups and downs of owning your own business?
Uh, Sometimes it is difficult. I can't say I've been 100% every time, but like you say, if you make a mistake, you own up to it and you try to do what's necessary to rectify the issue. Because I am the face of taxes by Tate, so if I have a problem with a client, I try to address it directly or try to work the issue out. Uh, and all I have is my name, so I try to stand by that.
Oh, yeah. So, what advice would you give someone looking to start a business in the New Orleans area, in particular, New Orleans East?
Be consistent, do your research, and continue to learn your business because everybody's business model continues to evolve. I was just thinking about how when I came into doing taxes in the 90s, you would have somebody doing taxes in the lobby and it was a check exchange behind you.
Right.
You get your check from Chase within about 5 minutes, you go there and cash it right away. But now that everything has been digital, you know, as business evolve, the model of a currency exchange or check exchange that's gone because everything is on your card now.
Right.
So that's no longer there. So things still change. Just like with music, at one time you could go to Peaches or you could
Right.
go to your record store get your CD.
Right.
Now that whole business model has been removed because everything is on your phone.
Right.
I don't even. A lot of the artists are saying at one time they had a physical product to sell, they were getting a percentage.
Right.
But now they're only getting points on streams. So, everything evolves just like with the tax model. what used to be acceptable in reference to an income tax return and the burden of proof is totally different. So that's not going to fly, because even though you may have some tax practitioners who are doing things that are disingenuous, just like there's civil penalties for the person who signed off on the erroneous income tax return, the tax practitioner has civil penalties that they can also face
Wow.
if they're doing something that's just uh, far out of the branch of the norm, or that they should know better of. Now you will get an audit, and they'll come to see if it's just a lack of knowledge, or you're just being greedy and criminal.
Right. So I watched on YouTube last night. It was an interview with Shannon Sharp and Scarface,
Mm-hmm.
and it was on stage somewhere. They was doing a concert. Scarface and Too Short was on tour,
Mm-hmm.
and one of the things that Scarface spoke about was how they used to sell records, they used to sell CDs, they used to sell tapes. But now with streaming music, you get 0 point something, something, something
Yes.
of percentage, and he was like, "You can't make any money like that.
No.
You can't live like that." And that was a direct reflection of what you was just talking about. How back in the day things was much different, and now things are truly different. And you got to be able to evolve, and but still you got to be that person. You got to be that face. You got to be the face of taxes by tape. So, like you said, sit down and look at a person eyeball to eyeball, face to face, and have those discussions, and have that person to feel that person to touch. And that's one of the things that I've been engaged in. I've been engaged with the New Orleans Region Black Chamber of Commerce to bring that personal touch back.
Yes,
Because
sir.
for too many times since we started in 2006,
Mhm.
right after Katrina, that's 19 years ago. So we have evolved also, but we had that personal touch.
Mhm.
We are your neighbors. We are your friends, your cousins. We're the people who are in the community right there with you. How do you, how, what are some key lessons that you've learned in your journey as a business owner?
You have to set boundaries, because a lot of times when you overpromise, it comes back to bite you. A lot of times, and sometimes we want to try to soften the blow, but it's just like you say, it's best to just be upfront
Right.
and tell them the reality. This isn't doable. You're not going to get this type of money, because you do have some people who will shop around a return because they feel like, I can't get this. But also, you have to understand you're opening yourself up to a civil liability to the IRS if you don't have the burden of proof to get these exemptions that you're trying to claim.
Wow. Wow. What other businesses do you own or plan to open in the future?
Well, there are three kinds of income. There's earned income credit. There's earned income. Then there's passive income, which would be rental, and then you have capital gains. I would like to get into some more commercial real estate and residential real estate, because that's something that you can pass on. It's generational wealth, and everybody needs some place to live.
Right. So, do you see taxes by tape expanding beyond your current location, or is your focus on continuing to build where you are?
I'm going to continue to build where I am, but I would like to have another location, possibly on the West Bank or uptown, if I can find or build a format that allows me to still be hands on and still be able to engage and make sure that we're doing what's best for our clients, not just doing something haphazardly because we want the numbers and the money. Because all money isn't good money, and you're not going to build lasting relationships if you mess over somebody year to year. I have some clients I've been with 10 to 15 years, and that's a testament to me trying to be realistic and protect their assets and the type of money that they're accustomed to receiving when they file their taxes.
Okay. So, what legacy do you want to leave as a business owner in this community?
That's so important. When you think about that, how we've seen so many large scale businesses that have come right here from New Orleans, KMB, uh, Copeland's, Roof Chris. There's a saying, you have to train a child in which way you want them to grow.
Right.
it's imperative to engage our children so that they know that this business is just not for you. Because what happens when the children don't feel invested, they sell it off, and you just see the name fall by the wayside.
Right.
This is no knock on Copeland's, but when Al was alive, Sweet Fine Ice used to be jumping. Copeland's used to be jumping.
Right.
Now that he's passed, you can't see a distinct difference in how the family treats the employees or how the service is prepared. Or just like when when the Delshamps family was alive. When the first generation had it, everything was jumping. And when it passed on to the third generation, they just moved out the business. I would hope that I'd be able to inspire my daughter to carry on what I've given her so that she could, because it's taken me almost 10 or 15 years to get to this level. She'd be that much further ahead if she just piggybacked and stood on my shoulders. So we have to, teach our children that it's nothing wrong with carrying on tradition and upholding your family name, because that's important to move forward.
Hey, you just said some nostalgic stuff just then when you said can be. We used to do Mardi Gras every year on the corner of on Louisiana and St. Charles,
Mhm.
right in front of Can Be on the neutral ground.
Yeah.
So then I started singing the song, Rosenberg, Rosenberg, 1325, Tulane. So those are the things. And when Al Scamusa died this
Mhm.
year, Seafood City, that was one of the standards and the statutes of New Orleans.
Yeah.
So those are the things that you bring up a lot of memories on. And I know y'all out there having a good meal and enjoying your lunch. So take a pause right now. Put on your shrimp po' boy. Step away from the gumbo or the Popeyes chicken, because Popeyes used to really be Popeyes.
Yes, when we
So
had it,
so step away and give us a call. Become a part of this conversation. I know you have some tax questions for Brother Rod Tate. So please call in at 504-582-9422. And the phone lines are open. So at this time, we're going to go to the community calendar. And coming up in the month of September, which is right around the corner, we have a calendar full of stuff. So please, please, please join us. The first thing that we have is coming up on next Friday, which is Friday, September the 5th, 2025, at Sweet Lorraine's. We're going to have First Friday. So please come out and join us for our First Friday member mixer. You don't have to be a member to be there. If you want to be a member, please come and bring your information so you can become a member. Also, and then you can also meet with the members and network with the members that we will have at Sweet Lorraine's for First Friday next week. Then on 9/11/2025, we have the Small Business Memorial Candidates Forum that will be at Propeller on Washington Avenue. That is free. And on 9/17/25, we will have our New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce membership meeting that will be at Suno in the auditorium on 9/17/25. And on 9/26/25, we will have the New Orleans Chamber Memorial Candidates Forum, and that will be at the Hotel Monte Leon. Please look at social media and look at the calendar of events for the New Orleans Chamber. It will be a collaboration with the New Orleans Chamber, the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce, the LGBTQ plus chamber, and also the Hispanic chamber. And then coming into October, on Friday, October the 3rd, 2025, here on the campus of Xavier University, the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce presents the Phenomenal Woman Empowerment Conference. We will, everything will be going on sale on Monday, September the 1st. For that, Eventbrite will have the information, and it will be $1,000 a table that seats 10, $100 a person. and $150 a vendor. And I'm gonna ask my dear friend if he would be a vendor for that event, because we will have a lot of stuff that will be going on that day. We will have several trainings, several breakout sessions. So we're asking all the ladies of New Orleans to please be there. And once again, you can call in at 504-582-9422. We got a little time left, and we got a few more questions. Brother Tate, what is your educational and financial background?
Okay, I graduated from Tuskegee University and social work in '95. My degree is in, I have another degree in health services administration from University of St. Francis in Joliet, Illinois. That I got that one in 2005. I have my firefile number, my CAF number, and my PTN, and my ERO, which is your electronic return origination number from the IRS, and I probably got that one in 2010. So on average, I may do between 600 to 900 returns a year, and you're supposed to get your continuing education unit. So I do go to seminars for the at the IRS tax forum every year to try to stay current on everything.
So well educated, well trained. So if you need the man that's at taxes and all that kind of stuff, here is Brother Rod Tate of Taxes by Tate. So how can the listening audience get in contact with you for your services?
They can go to the website, www.taxesbytate.com. You can click on my hyperlink, my website populate, as well as my jingle. So I always listen to the jingle. It's a funny little song, Taxes by Tate. So
okay, I'm going to have to check that out. Why should someone choose Taxes by Tate for their tax needs?
Because I'm going to try to be a straight shooter. I'll prepare to return. But if it's something that that's out of the scope, I'll be honest with you. Or if it's something that's you have some people who view taxes almost like a cryptocurrency. They feel like things of a high risk should have a high yield, so they'll take those risks. I'm not in the business of taking risk on people's taxes and their livelihood or the representation of their adjusted gross income or their financial solvency. So I'd rather just shoot it to you straight.
All right. So how does it feel to be black to business?
It's challenging sometimes and it's humbling, but it's also rewarding because I have more autonomy. When I was telling you there's power in ownership, I would not have the leverage to tell somebody what I can do or I want to do if I sell my business, because then there's no power in ownership because somebody else owns or they can dictate what the goals and objectives will be for my business. So the hardest thing is trying to compete with H&R Block and Jackson Hewitt because they have larger media budgets than I do. But I just feel like if I do the right thing and try to stay consistent and be honest and shoot from the hip with my clients, I'll win. It'll be okay.
All right. So once again, we thank each and every one of you for tuning in and listening to Black to Business. And as my dear friend and co-host always say, we'll be black at you. We'll be black at you or black with you next week. So please tune in next week where our radio guest will be none other than another good friend of mine and also a friend of mine. So, and look, don't get it twisted. So if you want to be on the show, please contact me at nrrbcc.chairman2025@gmail.com. But as I was saying, next week we will have Councilman Freddie King III here on Black to Business. So once again, thank y'all for tuning in, and we will see you next week.
paid program and does not necessarily express the views or opinions of Equity Media, its management, staff, or affiliates of WBOK.
This is a rebroadcast on WBOK.
Edition of Dr. Clark's 101, The Living Classroom. And today we're talking Sports 101 with my good friend, Coach Mark Cook. And we've been friends for so many years. And Coach Cook, greetings and welcome, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me back.
Oh, yes, indeed. You're a regular on the program. And one thing that's most important is that I know that you do a lot of traveling, a lot of working. But just for the record, how are things with you these days?
Oh, it's been very good. Business it's been very good. As you know, my company, Global BB Report, we work in Europe. So right now, I plan to go back to Europe in July. I'll be there most of the month of July in Greece, talking to parents and players that want to attend school here, well, attend university or go to high school here in the U.S.
Oh, and when you go to Greece, I know what part of Greece do you go to?
I'm in the Athens area.
All right, yes.
But I stay out in a beach house off the Mediterranean, right outside in the suburbs of Athens.
That's beautiful, and that's awesome. I would imagine at this point you've gone you've been going now for a number of years, and so I would think that you pretty much know the lay of the land, not only in terms of athletes, but just physically.
Yes, I believe this is my 8th year going to Athens, Greece itself. So the area is very nice. The city's very nice. I've actually been up. I did the 1.5 walk up to the Parthenon to do the tourist thing up there.
But those certain things become obligatory. Now, I do know that you do Global BB Report, but just for our audience, so they would know what you do, tell us about the nature of Global BB Report and the structure and how you operate. Yes, sir.
Well, basically, Global BB Report, we work with the NBA as part of working with their seniors draft combine in Portsmouth, Virginia. It's called the PIT.